Alright, guys, this is going to be a long story. I guess let's just start at the beginning. So, I met these people in like 2013 because one of my old friends started bartending at a bar that this guy owned or managed or something. So then that bar, he ended up selling or something to another guy and then opened up another bar. I started going down to that other bar because I made friends with all the people at the previous bar and all that. And that's where like everyone hung out. And then also the girl that was bartending for the old bar ended up moving into the apartment above the new bar. So we were there like all the time and whatever. So then I stopped being friends with that girl and then everyone associated with her a while ago, I think 2015 or something like that. And so then I needed to make new friends or something. I don't know. I ended up going to his other bar, and then eventually he closed that bar and then started managing another bar, which is the bar of the story. I don't know how I even heard. I think I was around when he was closing the old bar, I think, and that's how I heard about where the new bar was and everything. So all these people, like, I would go to this bar like when I was lonely and needed people to talk to and would like practice opening up and making friends and everything. And it was like easy. It takes me a long time to get comfortable around people. So I didn't really open up to these people until like 4 years or something after knowing them. But anyway, at this new bar, the current bar, he was just the manager of this new bar, or the bar that I'm talking about. And what it was a pizza place, and then attached to the pizza place was the bar. And it's the same owner for both of them. And actually, the owner was this old Italian guy who passed away a year ago, and now his kids like own it and run it or something. I don't know like how involved they are. I don't know who technically owns it, if they all own it. I think there's 6 kids. I know I've seen 2 of them there working at it like consistently. And then I know some of the other kids live in Philadelphia or something. So anyway, I would go down to this new bar at like 6 o'clock or something, like when they opened, and sometimes like a little later. And the thing is with this guy's bar, he never like brought in a lot of business or anything with like any of his bars. It was mostly just like his friends, our friends, and whatever. Like he wouldn't have bands. He would have bands playing there, I think, Friday and Saturday sometimes. Sometimes not, but like the weekdays were completely empty, and there's so many times where like I was the only one there, or until like, so from like 6 o'clock to midnight, because then around midnight is when the manager would come in with all his friends and everything and bring in some more people to the bar. But from like 6 p.m. to midnight or something, it would just be me there, just bullshitting with the bartender or bartendress or whoever, just making conversation and making friends and all that. And sometimes there'd be like 1 or 2 other people walking in. Sometimes there'd be no one and whatever. And we would watch TV or just talk or whatever. So then I ended up... So I've always been like trying to find a girlfriend for like the longest time, and it's really hard to, like, I've talked about this before on the channel, and it's really hard to know where to go to meet people or whatever. And anyway, like back in January, I went to this one cigar bar. I made a video about this, and then I didn't talk about like most of the other stuff that happened, but with that. But I met this one girl, and she ended up like, she was manipulating me to get me to like her. This way I can go down to the bar and give her tip money and stuff. And then she had like this secret boyfriend who I don't know, maybe they just weren't officially in a relationship, even though by now they've been together like 8 months or something like that. So, but it was just like red flags all over the place. But anyway, uh, after that girl, then I'm like, all right, well, I have to find someone else. So then I took notice to the girl that works in the pizza place next to the bar. And then I learned that she was the ex-owner's daughter. So her father opened up the place. And so I would go over there, and before I went to the bar, I would order a slice or two of pizza and then have them bring it over to the bar. And I did that for like a week, maybe 2 weeks, because I was trying to get more comfortable around her and work up the courage to ask her out or start a conversation. I would just say hi to her, mostly, or like wave hi or say, hey, I'm not going to say her name in this video. But then I think twice I had like two like just really small conversations with her. I mean like 2 or 3 sentences, because I don't know, it's still hard. Like I don't want to interrupt people while they're working, and I'm really uncomfortable with strangers and everything and all that too. That's why like it was better for me, like at the bar, I would sit there at like 6 o'clock and it would just be me and the bartender there, and I would have time to be more comfortable, and I knew just sitting there that they weren't busy, so I'm not interrupting the bartender or anything by having a conversation or anything. Like I knew the surroundings and what I was getting into just by like observing and all that. Which I didn't have that opportunity when I'm just at a pizza place ordering a pizza and then leaving. So anyway, this girl, like, she's, from what I could tell, like, with all that, she's like really close to her family and everything, and it seemed like she comes from a good family. Now I know that like her parents were divorced and stuff like that, and that's not like a deal breaker, but it's something to talk about and understand, and just to see like her perspective on all that. I was talking to her brother about his family stuff and whatever before, but she seemed like the perfect person to like get married to and start a family with, and all that. Like she seemed responsible and had like good family history, and family is important to her. And then also like both of us being Italian, that we would have like the same values or similar values and beliefs and stuff. So what I was talking about in the past with the black girl and how the culture stuff made things really difficult with us and ultimately ended things with us. I didn't see any of that happening with the Italian girl. So anyway, because I was like really close with the bartenders next door, and the bartenders and the pizza people, they communicate some, but I don't think that much. There's like I'll call him the owner, and I don't want to say his name because I don't want anyone to go after them or anything. But like the owner is like a 25-year-old guy, and he would come into the bar after he closes the pizza place. So he would close the pizza place around 1 on weekdays, and then from 1 o'clock to 2 a.m. he would come over to the bar to have a drink and talk with the old manager there and some of the other people. I forgot where I was going with that. Let me take a quick break. Oh yeah, so I was talking to the one bartendress who I got real close with, and she's a girl, and she's like, she just turned 40 5 days ago now. 6 days ago now, my watch is wrong. And I was telling her how I liked the girl next door, and I was asking like what her situation was and if she had a boyfriend and all that. And she's like, oh, her brothers are like her brothers control her life and are like super overprotective, and someone was saying that there was like some other guy that I knew who was like in his late 40s or 50s or something went over to hit on her or something, and then her brother ended up getting mad about it or something. I don't know. So what I decided to do was talk to her brother first, and it seemed like the right thing to do, especially like what I knew beforehand. So her brother came over to the bar one day, and I didn't want to I knew like he would come over to the bar at 1 o'clock or whatever, and I didn't want to be like drunk while asking him this or talking to him. So I showed up at the bar at like midnight or 12:30 or something, and only had like one or two drinks, and just like was kind of ignoring my friends and just like waiting for him to come out, and just so I had like just so I could keep it on my mind and like work up the courage to talk to him, because I wanted to ask him if I could ask his sister out. And I went up to, he sat down at the bar and just by himself, and I walked over to him. And so I walk over to him and I'm like, hey, I have a question for you, or can I talk to you about something? And I'm like, I've been like noticing your sister lately. And it was like really hard for it to come out of my mouth because I was really nervous, and I didn't want him to say no because she was like in my mind like the perfect girl for me. Yeah, so I like forced it out of my mouth to ask him and tell him what was on my mind, and that I told him like how I was noticing her, and she seemed like I told him like the reasons why I liked her, because like the family stuff, and then and being Italian and all that. And I asked him, and he's like, yeah, I don't care, you can ask her out. And I'm like, oh, well, like someone said you were like really overprotective or like controlling or something, so I wanted to like make sure it was okay with you first. He's like, yeah, do whatever you want. Just like the other guys in the past, they were like being really creepy and like wouldn't leave her alone after she said no. But if she says no, you have to take no as no from her. And I'm like, yeah, sure, that's no problem. Like I totally understand that. So then somehow between like me talking to the bartenders, and also the one bartendress, the girl that I was talking to, is the fiance of the ex-manager of the bar. So like, and I've talked to him about liking this girl too, and was asking him like advice, like, because I was so nervous. I was asking him, like, I was telling him I was nervous and what should I do, and I don't want to say the wrong thing, and I don't want to screw anything up or whatever. And I was also asking him how him and his fiance met and how that happened, and all that. So yeah, word got out that I liked this girl at the pizza place next door. So then I never even got a chance to ask her out or anything, because that same like week where I was going into the pizza place and ordering pizza to like get comfortable and get enough courage to ask her out, that same week, this one guy who works at the pizza place comes over to me at the bar and he says to me like, hey, just so you know, person's name is my girlfriend. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then that was the end of it. He just walked back to the pizza place, and I just continued drinking and whatever. And I was like kind of trying to process everything, because, that's what, when I was talking to her brother, he's like, oh, she's not dating anyone. She hasn't dated anyone in like 5 years or something. And I remember saying like, oh, did she get her heart broken by someone? And did she like stop dating people because of that or whatever? I was trying to understand like more of the situation. So anyway, this guy that is dating her, no one knew about. Her brother didn't know about it. None of her family knew about it or anything. So I'm like, okay, I don't want to cause any trouble, so I'm not going to go over to the pizza place anymore, and I'm not going to talk to her. I don't want him to like mistake me saying hi to her as me flirting with her or anything. So I'm like, I'm just not going to go get pizza anymore. I'm just going to go to the bar. That's where like all my friends are. And these people, at the bar have become like my family. So it's not just like it's not like just like they're my friends. Like we're so close where we look out for each other and protect each other and all that, and it gives me like a purpose or a meaning to my life, because some of these people, like there's this one guy who has cancer and he has like a big deformity on his face that no one talks to him because they're like turned off by how he looks and everything. And then even the people at the bar, there's only one guy that talks to him. His friends, a lot of people there ignore him because he's also like hard to understand and have a conversation with and everything. So I would talk to him and make conversation with him and stuff, and I would make a point to understand, like if he didn't say something clearly or whatever, I would ask him to repeat himself, and I would like get in closer so I could hear him and all that, which I don't see a problem with, and he appreciated that too because he knew that I was interested in listening to him and having a conversation and all that. So there's a lot of people there that like rely on me and depend on me, and also I rely on them and depend on them too, just to have people to talk to. And there's also been instances where, like with my sob getting hit, the person who hit me actually knew one of the people at the bar that I went to, so that helped me track down the person who hit my car because of that. So there's a lot of benefits, joint benefits to me going to the bar for everyone involved. So I wanted to continue going to the bar, but it was also like kind of awkward there, and me not being able to go over to the pizza place. Even when I was hungry, I wasn't comfortable going over there. There was like once or twice I went over after it where I knew that that girl wasn't working, and I'm like, well, fuck this. I'm not going to let this hold me back from eating pizza. This is kind of silly. So there's like one or two times that I went over there, but for the most part, and that was like initially when it first happened, when I found out that she had a boyfriend or whatever. And also at the time, I didn't even know if they were actually dating or if he just heard that that I liked her and he was trying to scare me off because he liked her or what. I didn't know that, and I was afraid to go over there and talk to the girl because I didn't want him to be over there. It's 9:30 a.m. It's time to wake up. I was afraid to talk to the girl and clarify everything because I didn't want him to see me talking to her and get jealous and all that. Oh yeah, the other thing I wanted to mention about it, I didn't know if I wanted to be friends with that girl either, because so with talking to her brother, after I told her brother that she has a boyfriend or whatever, he just knew or something after what happened. After we were talking about it, he's like, oh, well, maybe they'll break up or whatever. And I'm like, oh, will you let me know, like, if she's ever single or anything? And he's like, yeah, sure, I'll let you know. But I didn't want to hang on to that hope because I didn't want to wait around for someone's relationship to end, because then what if their relationship never ends? What if they end up getting married or whatever? Then that's me waiting around instead of pursuing other girls. So this is all like time wasted and whatever. So I didn't even want to like be friends or be close to her or anything because I wanted to move on and I didn't want to have like any hope or anything, because that always happens, like has happened to me in the past, where like I try to be friends with these girls and then it's just me always having hope and all that, and then I'm never moving on and that's not good for me. I think that's big reason why I'm 33 and single, because a couple girls I didn't move on from. Yeah, so I wasn't sure I even wanted to talk to her or anything, or if I could talk to her. So I was just trying to, I was stuck in like a hard place because like I wanted to move on and kill like all the feelings that I had for her and all the hope that I had of a lifelong relationship working out and all that. But on the other hand, I still wanted to go to the bar because that's where all my friends were, and like I said, we helped each other a lot. So anyway, I kept going to the bar, and I didn't talk to her or anything at all, the girl at all. There were times where she would come over. I think like twice I noticed this. So she would come over and deliver food or bring food to the people at the bar. It's not too often that people order food there. Maybe like once or twice a night or something like that. And out of all the people that work at the pizza place, maybe like twice a week or something, she would bring food over to the people at the bar. So I noticed that when she would come over, her boyfriend would be standing at the other end of the bar, like watching her. And I didn't think anything of it, but now I see like either she was scared of me and didn't want me to talk to her, or he was jealous and was being controlling and wanted to like stop me from talking to her or something. I don't know, like those are just my thoughts. You would have to ask them like what's really going on or whatever. I would have to ask them, and then who the hell knows. So anyway, this one day, so I was like really sick. I'm still like getting over sick. And then it's like, oh, you have to cough to prove that you're still being sick or whatever. So I was still like, I was getting over sick. I got sick Friday, then Saturday and Sunday I was sick, so I didn't go to the bar. And then Monday, I think it was Monday night, I was feeling better and wanted to get out, and it was kind of sucky being home all the time. I wasn't used to it because I was going out to the bar 4 days a week, 5 days a week, and because I was lonely and wanted to talk to people. Now I do have like my camera and YouTube channel and stuff to talk to people, so that makes it easier to transition from stuff like this. But anyway, so Monday night, it's like 11 o'clock at night or whatever, and so this is important because I have to tell you like what provoked this to happen or whatever. So I think because I was uncomfortable going over to the pizza place to talk to the girl, I ended up messaging her on Instagram twice, I think maybe 3 times, and this is over the span of like 3 weeks or something. I told her I said I was having a hard time moving on, and that it was like really uncomfortable with me going to the pizza place. And then I also said how like I still wanted to go to the pizza place because my friends and whatever were there. And then I also like said like I wanted to talk to her and like see if we understand each other or know like what's on each other's minds and just talk about it or whatever. And then I also said that I wanted to know like if I was handling everything well, and I'm really trying to handle everything the best that I could. So anyway, this Monday night, her boyfriend comes over to me at the bar, and I think maybe like 4 other people were in the bar. So there was the bartender who is like the new manager of the bar, who I made friends with. Then there's the cancer guy, who was sitting next to me, and I was talking to him, but I was also like kind of sick and had like other stuff on my mind. So I was like I wasn't as involved in the conversation as I could be. And he knew that I was sick, and I told him like, I'm sorry for not being able to concentrate 100% on the conversation or whatever. Anyway, so then her boyfriend walks by me at the bar, and he's like, hey, can I talk to you for a minute? And I'm like, yeah, sure. So he leads me outside into the alley next to the bar, and starts like, I don't even know what happened. He's like, you can't talk to my girlfriend anymore. Like, what are you doing? There's nothing to move on from. You guys weren't dating, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, there's nothing to talk about. And I'm like, he has me like backed into the alley and I'm trying to walk past him and he keeps like getting in front of me and like pushing me so I can't leave. And he's saying like, oh, there's nothing to move on from and blah, 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 which isn't true because I had a crush on her and I'm moving on from the dream that I had in my mind of our future together. So there is something to move on from because that dream is no longer there. It's no longer feasible or possible or anything like that. So that's what I'm moving on from, and that's what's painful to me because I really liked the girl and really saw a future for us together. And especially like not being able to talk to her, not being able to figure out like if we're even compatible or anything. There's nothing there to tell me like, hey, we're not compatible, so just end it, move on. Like, so I was still like in limbo, like not knowing like that it wouldn't work out or it would work out or whatever. So because that's what like, oh, it's easy to move on when you know that you two aren't compatible or you have like some fundamental flaw between each other. You have like something on your mind to tell you like, oh, this is why it doesn't work out or whatever. So it's really hard to move on because I didn't know why we weren't compatible or anything. I still don't know if we are or aren't compatible or whatever. If I don't know if we have the same goals for the future. I don't know like what we want out of life. I don't know what her personality is or anything. I mean, I know what I want out of life. I just don't know if we're on like the same direction or anything like that. So it is hard to move on. And so he's like trying to intimidate me and force me to move on or whatever and yell at me for whatever reason to like, that's my actual experience, you know, like I don't want to be like all social justice warrior or whatever, but it's my actual feelings and how it is for me. Like, that's how it is. Like, so anyway, he's like blocking me and I'm like, dude, I don't even go over there because I don't want you to mistake me going over there and talking to her with flirting with her or anything. Like, I haven't talked to her. I haven't been over there or anything. Like, leave me alone, dude. And he just keeps pushing me and backing me into the alley and whatever. So I grab onto his arms and like, I'm slowly like, I didn't even realize I was doing this. I mean, it was like in my mind, but I was like slowly edging him back towards the front of the building and towards the entrance to the door. And he's like, yeah, and don't talk to the owner either. Like, no one wants to talk to you. Like, everyone's just being nice to you because something or whatever. I don't know if he said that. That might be me making up. But he's like, don't talk to the owner either. Like, he doesn't want to talk to you. And I'm like, he's my friend. Like, why can't I talk to him? So, and the owner's never said that he doesn't want to talk to me or anything like that. So, and this is the other thing, like the like 3 messages or whatever that I sent to the girl on Instagram. Like, why couldn't she just block me or tell me not to talk to her if that's the case? I don't understand that. Like, if she like sent her boyfriend over to intimidate me or whatever, if she was doing that, she could have blocked me. So I don't know what the problem was there. Yeah, so then so then there's like a couple steps up to the entrance of the bar, and he's standing on the top steps and I'm down below them. So he's like above me and I'm still holding onto his arms, and then he's like, ah! to like break free. And I'm like, I just like let go and I'm like, okay, dude. And I don't know, I think I just pushed him like past the door, and then I walked inside the door of the bar after that, and then I just sat down at the bar. So then he walks down he walks past me and he walks behind the bar because the entrance, you could get next door to the pizza place by going through the bar and then through the entrance back there. So he walks behind the bar, and at this point the bartender is talking to me, and so this guy walks by the bartender. He's like, "You talk to my girlfriend or the owner again, I'm gonna fucking kill you. Next time there is no talking." And like, this is like the other thing that pissed me off about this situation. Like, he comes up to me and is like, "Hey man, do you want to hey man, can we talk?" And he had no fucking intention of talking at all. He had the intention of yelling at me and bullying me and intimidating me to do whatever the fuck he wanted. That's not talking. Talking is like understanding each other and finding a solution to whatever the hell is going on, whatever problem is going on. And I already had the solutions in my head. Don't go over there, don't talk to her, whatever, and just go over there and hang out with my friends and all that. And that's it. Like, if that's not good enough for him, then he can explain his reasoning and I'll find another solution. We can work towards another solution. That's what talking is. Talking isn't like, "Hey, let's go. Hey, do you want to talk to me?" And then they're just going to like yell at me and corner me and bully me and push me around and all that shit. No, fuck that, man. So yeah, anyway, he walks past the bartender, and the bartender heard him like threaten to kill me if I went there or whatever. And I'm like, okay, I'm calling the cops now. So then I call the police, and this is a long ass video, but it's okay. Yeah, so I call the police show up. I end up going outside to talk to the police and talk to them on the sidewalk and tell them the whole story. So then the police go into the pizza place and talk to the guy and then also talk to the owner. I don't know if the police officer said the owner didn't really talk to him that much, but I was watching through the window. The owner was standing at the counter, and the owner was at least listening and did say like a couple things or whatever. So anyway, the cop comes outside, and I see like while the cop is finished talking to them and the cop comes outside to talk to me and tell me whatever, I see the owner and the other guy, like the owner's like patting him on the back and joking around it and whatever. So I'm like, all right, that's kind of fucked up, especially since he's the one who's starting fights with me and whatever. Like, kind of fucked up to take his side, or what seemed like you're gonna joke around and pretend to be buddy with someone like that. It's kind of fucked up. So anyway, the cop comes out and is like, you can't file assault charges against him because there was no assault, and if we file harassment charges against him, then we also have to file harassment charges against you, which I don't even understand like how that's a thing, because I wasn't even talking to the guy. I never even initiated a conversation with him or anything, so I don't know like how I would be charged with harassment if I file harassment against him or whatever. I didn't even care about filing anything against him anyway. But then the cop is like, so the owner said you're banned from the bar, like you can't come back here or whatever, and you need to leave now. I'm like, okay. So then so I'm like, all right, let me go back into the bar, grab my stuff, and say goodbye to everyone, and I'll leave. So then I tell like the bartender there what happened and that I'm banned, and he's like, what the hell is like, how did you get banned or whatever? And I'm like, I don't know, I didn't even do anything. And so then I'm like, I have to leave, I can't stay here long because I don't want to get in more trouble or whatever. And I said goodbye to the two other guys that were in there that I was friends with. So that's that night. And then after, there's going to be more to talk about, but let me take another quick break. Yeah, so after that I left, and then I guess like the next day I wanted to explain to some of these people why I'm not going to be at the bar anymore. So like the ex-manager, a couple other people that I was friends with, the ex-manager's fiance, who we got like really close through like my year and a half of being at that bar. Uh, so like I don't have like most of these people's phone numbers. I had like a couple of them. So anyway, I'm just gonna look at some of the text messages so I know that I'm getting things accurate. So this one guy that I've known for a long time, I told him like what happened and whatever. I still want to see my friends or whatever, and he's a musician and he plays around at other bars and stuff like that. So I told him like kind of like what happened. I told him like what happened. I told him like I'll text you and just text me and tell me like where you're playing at, because I still want to see you. So I'll come out and see you like here and there. I can't like promise that I'm gonna come out and every time or whatever. And it's still like not the same. It's not like that bar was like my home. Like I could just hang out there and whatever, and like I knew everyone there and all that. I didn't have to make plans to see anyone. So then the ex-manager, I told him about everything, and he's like, "Oh, that sucks." And then I told like his fiance, and she's like, if I was there, none of that shit would have happened, and all that stuff, which like I really appreciate, because she's like the only one that actually like would have like defended me. Anyway, what I'm kind of upset about also is that like all these people that were like my friends and family and stuff, and these are people where I've helped tremendously, and for like another example is like there's this one guy who lives with the ex-manager and his fiance and whatever, and he lost his job. The place he was working for ended up going out of business or something in December or January, and he didn't really get any notice from it and lost his job. He hasn't worked since, he hasn't worked since. So he was paying rent to the ex-manager because he lives with him, and he can't afford rent or anything anymore. So he got a job at McDonald's but needed a physical, like a doctor's visit, and I think he needed like to get his driver's license updated or his ID or something like that. And he didn't have money for the doctor's appointment or for the driver's license thing. So I gave him $140 to do that. And it would also help out the ex-manager because then once he gets a job, then he can get rent money and everything. So as far as I know, that didn't happen or whatever. He never got the job or never went through with any of that stuff, which is fine. Like I'm not gonna, I'll give people money to help them out, and I don't want to like be on their ass or get mad at them or anything if they don't use the money for what it's intended for. It's just like, then I know in the future not to give people money or not to help people out if they're not going to use it for the help that it was designated for or whatever. So whatever. But even like the ex-manager, I've helped him out like quite a bit too, and all that. So yeah, I'm just kind of upset with everyone for not sticking up for me, especially like because I didn't do anything wrong at all there, and this other guy, like I'm banned in my mind, and I've asked the owner. I messaged the owner on Instagram, like, what's your reasoning for banning me or whatever, and he just didn't want to talk to me about it. He didn't respond or anything. I don't know, like, what the hell I did wrong. And the thing that sucks too is like I have to go out and make all new friends now and whatever. Like I know that I have to do that. I know that it's like healthiest for me, but it's like taking me away from my family and my friends and everything. Like I don't have anyone to talk to anymore. Like I said, I do have this camera and all that. So it's like kind of okay, but YouTube doesn't make up for like having friends in real life and all that. So yeah, but I am like kind of upset that no one stuck up for me. No one tried to like have the owner talk to me about anything or anything like that. And I don't know if I'm being unreasonable thinking that. I don't think so, because it's my expectation, I guess, that when people are my friends and family, that we protect each other and look out for each other, and we do the right thing, not only to each other, but to everyone else and all that. So I am like disappointed in them for not doing that. So yeah, anyway, so then this guy, the ex-manager, calls me on Sunday, I think, and he calls my phone like 4 or 5 times in a row, and I'm at my neighbor's barbecue. He calls my phone 4 or 5 times in a row. My phone's on silence all the time, so I don't even see it or hear it. Then he texts me like a bunch. He's like, hey, call me. And then I text him back. I'm like, what's up? And then he calls me like 4 or 5 times again and texts me again. So then I go inside and call him. And he's like, oh, you like doing good deeds. You like being a good person. I have something for you to do. Can you drive the same guy with getting the job at McDonald's and the license or whatever? Can you drive him like an hour and a half or 2 hours or something away to take this one test for something that he needs to do? What happens is that the ex-manager bought a new bar, and then this other guy, he needs like some food license or something, and so this other guy has to take the test so that he has someone with the food license, even though he's not serving food there. So that's what this is about. He wanted me to drive him like an hour and a half, 2 hours away, and I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. I told him like it was because I was busy, and which I was busy. I did have like a lot of stuff to do, and I still have a lot of stuff to do like all the time. But the real reason was because I felt like, one, he was taking advantage of me and like, hey, you like doing good deeds, you like helping people, I have a job for you. Like, no, fuck that. I'm gonna do like what I want to do and help people in the way that I see fit, and whatever. But then also I'm like mad at him for not sticking up for me or anything too. So and I didn't say anything about that, and I don't know if I could or should say anything about that. I don't know what else. This video is probably like 40 minutes long. I think I'm gonna drive home and see if there's anything I want to add to this, but I think it's pretty much over. Yeah, so also, I can't do this camera angle. So also, I don't even know if I want to go back to this bar or if this is like even able to be worked out, because let's say that, so this owner, I feel like I can't trust him to do the right thing, because he banned me when I'm the one who's being peaceful, I'm the one who's not causing trouble, I'm the one who's trying to make everything all right and whatever, and he banned me instead of, and I don't know, like, maybe he did this because like the other guy's his employee and he didn't want to lose his employee, or because the other guy is his boyfriend or his girlfriend, the other guy is his sister's boyfriend, and he didn't want to like upset her, and maybe it would have caused like, it would have upset too much to ban the other guy instead of me. So maybe that's why he decided to make the wrong choice instead of doing the right thing. But if that's the situation, I can't trust someone like that not to protect me, not to protect the person who's doing the right thing and all that. So for one, I don't trust that at all. There's also like, if I go back there and that guy's still there, am I really going to feel safe there? And I'm probably always going to be on my toes and not feel comfortable there anymore. And that's definitely a thing and going to happen. And I know like I can protect myself, I can take care of myself or whatever if a situation does come up. It's just that I'm always going to have that on my mind. I'm always going to be on the lookout when I'm there. So I'm never going to be like fully comfortable there anymore. So I don't know. I think that's it. that's going to be the end of this video. If there's anything more, I'll cut it out and add it in, but I think that's going to be it. Yeah, let me know what your thoughts are on this and all that. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and thank you for listening. And yeah, this is a long video, but it's something I just had to get out and get off my chest. So thanks for listening. Take care and goodbye.